Alright, hi guys, welcome back to the Sullivan Pursuit. I have some very exciting news this week. In less than 2 weeks, just one day under 2 weeks, I am going to Guatemala and maybe other places in Central America to be determined. But today I'm going to tell you how I'm going to plan my trip. So I'm really excited. And yeah, let's start because there's a lot that goes into this. But for right now, let's go ahead and start with like the normal things that I would plan for any travel trip. So yeah, let's go. So when I plan a trip, my brain feels like this. But there's like a method to my madness. So the very first thing I do is buy a plane ticket. So if I can find a plane ticket, I usually go. I did find a really cheap ticket on Skyscanner for $7 one way to Guatemala. I haven't bought a return ticket yet just because I'm not sure how long I'm staying. That kind of depends on how I feel when I get there. So I personally like to have lots of different ideas of what to do, like a plan A, a plan B, plan C, plan D, but don't have anything set in stone because traveling changes all the time and you have to be flexible. So I got my ticket into Guatemala City, and I've heard Guatemala City isn't the best place to stay in, so I'm going to kind of get in and then get right back out and go to Antigua. All right, so my first step after getting my ticket is to figure out what areas I want to go to. I'm not necessarily on things to do yet, but more just kind of like areas with a lot of things to do and that are known. So my first step is to look at like YouTube videos. Like I love Backpacking Bananas with Christian. I love Lexi Limitless. Travel Tom Tom and Destination Chaser are on Instagram. They've all been to Guatemala and I really enjoy their stuff. It's made me feel a lot safer going there as a solo female traveler. So the first thing I do is find the areas. So the first area I found that I really wanted to go, that everyone goes, is Antigua. So Antigua, Guatemala is a beautiful colonial town. And so then after I figure out my first stop, I go look at accommodation. So here comes the like nitty gritty like research part. So I like to use Hostelra because you can put a 10% down deposit, and then like if you change your mind, like you can cancel and you don't have to pay any extra. So I really like Hostelra versus some of the other booking sites. So I go down and I try to look for ones that have the most reviews and like a pretty good score, like between 8 and 10. So for this one, I found La Tropicana Hostel in Guatemala. It looks amazing. And they have a volcano hike that goes out from the hostel. Also, the big thing for the time period right now, they have recent reviews. So like with everything with COVID, I wanted to find somewhere that had been active for a decent amount before I went. Like I don't want to be the first one back, especially traveling by myself. So this one had about like 7 or 8 reviews for the last few months, which was pretty good considering everything. So like, I think it's fine. I'm going to go, and I'm really excited about this hostel. They have a pool. It's very safe. And so that was my first stop. So then after deciding which hostel I wanted to go to and what area, I had to figure out how to get there from Guatemala City. So they do have a private shuttle to the hostel, but it's a little pricey. It's $40. And I've been seeing my favorite YouTube vloggers and everyone take the public buses, and they seem to be pretty safe even with COVID. So there's a shuttle that runs from the Guatemala City airport to Antigua, which is only, I think, 30 minutes away every hour. So I'm going to get on that, and that is my first stop. So we're doing good. Okay. So just to catch you up, we have our accommodation booked for 4 nights, a possible volcano hike, transport from the airport to the hostel, and so pretty much a week of stays. So now I'm going to go into what I need to do before I leave the airport. So there's 2 really important things. I'm not able to find any Guatemalan quetzal, I think that's how you say it, which is their currency in the States. So I'm probably going to have to get some from an ATM in Guatemala, which isn't my favorite thing to do, but it is what it is. So I'm probably going to have to do that in the airport if I can't find a bank here that has any, which it's not looking like I will. The second thing is I need a SIM card for my phone. My phone plan obviously does not work in Guatemala. So I need to get a SIM card because one of the places I want to go doesn't have any Wi-Fi, which would be fine if I wasn't traveling by myself in such a weird time. So if I get the SIM card, my next steps are pretty solid, but I also have a plan B. So yeah, let's continue to catch you up. I know it's a lot of information. I have to get the currency of the country. I have to get a SIM card from the country. I have my transportation not booked, but figured out from the airport to the hostel. I am flying in, so I have my flight booked. I have my first 4 nights of accommodation booked in Antigua, and then I'm doing the volcano hike that weekend. Okay, so this brings me into things to do. So I was doing a lot of research on things to do once I found where I wanted to go. So the regions I really want to go is Antigua, this little surf village called El Paredon, and Lake Atitlan. So those are the ones that I have in my head that I really want to go. There's another one called Sumuk that I want to get to, but it's quite out of the way, so I'll just kind of have to play that by ear. So I don't know what I'm actually doing after my first 5 or 6 days there, because I'm staying in Antigua. I might do a day trip to the lake or something, but I'm there for so long to get used to the altitude so I can do the volcano hike. So in my head I was like, okay, I'll stay in Antigua, get my feet wet with the traveling thing again. Then I'll do the hike up the volcano, a live volcano, which is like recommended to be the best thing to do in Guatemala. And then from there, if I get a SIM card, I will be taking a bus or a shuttle from Antigua to El Paredon and staying in a surf hostel there for like 4 or 5 days without Wi-Fi, because it's supposed to have a really good beach break. So I'm excited about that because I wanted to go to Nicaragua, but I couldn't. So here's this hostel, and it's got good and recent reviews. So I'm really hoping that I'm able to get a SIM card that works so I can do that. If that does not go right, I'm going to be going to Lake Atitlan and staying there, which is a lot more popular and touristy. So I'll be able to like have other travelers, have some expats there, and I'd feel a lot safer. And they have Wi-Fi at like the hostels and such. So that's my plan as of right now. So if you, let's break it down. I have my flight. I have to get the currency. I have to get a SIM card. I have my accommodation booked for the first 4 nights. And my hike is 2 nights and it's an overnight. So I have my general itinerary for 6 days. I want to spend about 2 weeks there. Then I have a possible second trip to El Paredon if I get a SIM card. If I don't get a SIM card, my plan B is to go to the lake. And then honestly, if I go to El Paredon, I might want to go to the lake after. So that's kind of like my plans, like flexible, but still have somewhat of a plan. So you're not just kind of SOL. Then things to do. I have the volcano hike in Antigua. I have just like exploring the city. I have the surf camp, which is on the beach. So it's a lot of beach activities. And then I have the Lake Atitlan, which is about boating and relaxing and just enjoying the scenery. So I feel like no matter what at this point, I've done enough research that I'm going to have a good trip. So I'm really excited about that. The only other thing that I feel like I need to prepare for is I want to do a lot of filming on this trip. So I'm getting an action camera that I've bought, and I need to clear out my SD cards. I think that's so important to like put your pictures and videos from your from your SD cards onto a backup hard drive so that you have them, but you can use, you have a lot of space for all your new footage. I will be fully vaccinated before I go to Guatemala, but I still need to get a test. So I am going to have a test within 72 hours prior to arrival. And I think I have to get one on the way back, but I'm not sure because at that point I'll be fully vaccinated, and I'm not sure how the world is going to be because that's a month later. So yeah, I think you have to wear masks in the streets still, but it's like still worth traveling. And then when you're doing the hike, you don't have to wear a mask, and you're going to be pretty socially distanced the whole time. So I guess that I'll just kind of have to see in person. And then I'm trying to see how hard it is to get into El Salvador from Guatemala over land. So if it's not super hard, I'm gonna do that. If not, then I'll make another plan before then. But that's kind of where I'm at right now. So I have everything booked pretty much for my first week, and then a lot of the other stuff depends on if a SIM card that I can get in the airport works on my phone, because sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, still gonna go to Lake Atitlan and have an amazing trip. But that is how I plan my trips. I know it's a little like, but it's pretty much have a plan, but be completely flexible. So like have ideas of what I want to do, but put no pressure on it. And I'll do more research when I get to the place of like things I can't miss. I also love Googling itineraries for like different places and Googling like backpacking videos of people that have done it in my way of doing it. So yeah, that's about all I have for you guys today. And I'm really excited to go explore Guatemala. I leave, this is a big one, I leave May 18th. So stay tuned. If you want to follow along on my adventures, follow my Instagram at seemingly Sully. I will be putting a lot of it on my story. So I'm actually going to be leaving May 18th, which is in 2 weeks. So I've been planning for like maybe a week now, just doing research, Googling itineraries, and then next week I'm gonna pack. Next Tuesday I'm gonna pack and do a packing video. So that's that, but let's do this video first. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I know it was a little bit chaotic, and thanks for bearing with me, even if I've just had a Red Bull and I'm talking really fast. Also, I just got a new tattoo of a manta ray and a wave, so very happy about that. Okay, well, thanks guys, and I'll see you next week. Bye.